let's move on to our next topic. We're talking about Tom Brady because this was a vintage Tom Brady moment. Brady and the Bucs were able to beat the Carolina Panthers 30-24 behind a 432 passing yard game, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown for the 45-year-old Tom Brady. Mike Evans caught all of that, all of his touchdowns, 10 catches for 207 yards, which is absurd. He now continues his streak of 1,000-yard seasons with his 9th. He needed, I think, like 87 or 83, 207. So he killed that by a long shot. So based on what we saw in this game, how dangerous do you think the Bucs could be in the playoffs?
Well, I picked them to win this game. They were not favored, and but I didn't think Darnold was going to be the one to upset the Bucs and keep them from making the playoffs. So I anticipated that Brady would have a great game, and he did. He really looked good. He really looked good, man.
Yeah, he did.
Did you see some of those passes, man? He's throwing the ball 60 yards in the air, right on the money, right on the hands. I think his passing was impeccable in that game. The long throws that he made, the 3 plays are almost identical to one another.
Yeah.
Right? Except for the arc of the ball. Right? The arc of the ball, it was just like the playoff game last year against the Rams, against Jalen Ramsey. The first one, same play. Right? The arc of the ball.
Almost the same distance, too. It was a 55-yard.
About the same distance. He caught it right about the same spot. And then the other 2 were in the same spot, too, but one of them was like a laser beam. He threw the ball. It was really, I think, Brady, he's not lost it. He is still should be feared out there because he really had a great game. And it's lucky he did because it was a close game, right? It was less than a touchdown. And they muffed the snap on the punt, and the guy, this was late in the game, and there's only 6-point difference, and the guy ran over towards the sideline and then smartly kicked it. And it turned out to be a really good punt.
I think it was at the 1 yard line.
It went down and really close to the end zone there, and the guy was down there waiting for it because it took him so long to kick it. He was right down there waiting for it. It's almost like he was the receiver. And that was really a great play for them, and this heads-up play by the punters. So maybe the Bucs have found something, and they'll carry this on into the playoffs, and they'll be a team to be reckoned with. We'll see.
The running game still sucks.
Yeah, only 67 yards.
But I will admit,
they didn't leave it totally. They did. No. They tried. They had 25 attempts, so they were trying to run it.
Yeah,
they're lucky to have Tom Brady. I'd say that, right? Because he's been. If it wasn't for him, they'd be at the bottom of the heap.
Yeah,
I mean, some of the games he won for them in the last minute of the game. There's 3 games he won in the last minute this year, and this game on Sunday, without him, they would not be a contender at all. So
absolutely not. This was a vintage Brady game. This was a game where Brady said, "You know what? We're gonna play to finally win the division," and they did something which they should have done a long time ago. Very early in the game, they implemented that 2-minute hurry-up offense. They only did it a couple of times because if you do it too much, your players are going to get gassed and they're going to get tired and they're not going to be as good anymore. But what they did early on was, after the first 1 or 2 drives didn't work, Brady kept the ball going. They kept moving the ball, and it was beautiful. But in large part of this game, the defense wasn't really there. They had 1 interception on an underthrown ball by Sam Darnold, which was a beautiful read. It just was underthrown. At one point, the score was 21-10. Even after it was 7-0, I tweeted, the Bucs are going to lose this game. Because the way that Sam Darnold was 4 for 4 for 60 yards and a touchdown. I'm like, oh God. This is the past 2 seasons Bucs passing defense where Jared Goff tore up and Matt Stafford tore up the passing defense. And you had who's the quarterback for the Bears in Brady's first season? Was it Nick Foles? Nick Foles. Look at Nick Foles now. 2020, Nick Foles tore up this Bucs passing defense. And I thought it'd be the same thing. But silly me, I was wrong.
Yeah, well, Darnold made a mistake there. He threw the interception.
He did. And that's the classic Sam Darnold that we've always seen, is he's going to make the interception.
And that
he's
led
going
to
to make
points.
the bet.
I believe that led to points, right? That after that interception? It led to points.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But this was a great game from Tom Brady. Still, though, most of these points came in the fourth quarter. It was 21-10 in the fourth quarter. And then it was a 57-yard pass to Mike Evans. Then it was a 30-yard pass to Mike Evans. And then it was a 1-yard rush by Tom Brady. That was basically all their point. That was all their points in the fourth quarter. All those big plays minus what they had a 63-yard pass, which had 57 yards in the air. It's the most air distance, like completion-wise, that Brady's had since 2017. So Brady still got the arm strength, which I was...
And the smarts.
I questioned his arm strength because there was a couple throws to Scotty Miller where I thought maybe, because he underthrew them, and I thought maybe Brady's arm isn't there right now. But the problem I still have is, okay, let's just say, just because this is probably going to be how it is. The Eagles are going to beat the Giants this week. They're 14-point favorites. The Giants are probably going to rest their players. But the Eagles, when they beat the Giants, the Cowboys will remain the 5 seed. That means the Bucs will get the home wild card against the Cowboys. With that Cowboys pass rush, Brady, to me, throughout the entire year, has looked more paranoid than ever in the pocket.
Well, he's been hit a lot.
He's tried not to. And I think I have a stat here. Brady ranks 9th in QB hits, despite being 33rd in pressure percentage, and he has the shortest pocket presence, the shortest pocket time this year, and he's first in release time. So he has to get the ball out quick. He doesn't have any time in the pocket. He's getting pressured. He's getting hit the 9th most. Yet he's 33rd in pressure percentage. Which is that's the stat where people like, his offensive line is great. He's barely getting pressured. No.
It's because he gets rid of the ball in 1 second.
He's getting the ball out very quick.
Yeah.
But he's still getting hit, though, regardless. Because at the end, he gets hit and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit nervous because you have to go up against Micah Parsons and Dexter Lawrence and that ferocious defensive line for the Cowboys. So, and the offense, here's the thing. The offensive line did tremendous against Brian Burns. I mean, Brady didn't really get pressured in this game. And so when that happens, when you give Brady 2.5 seconds, he'll tear up your defense. Yeah. And that's what happened in this game.
If it is Cowboys Bucs, one thing going for the Bucs is Dallas's turnovers.
Yes.
Man, Dak Prescott, he turns the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
He's not been doing well with turnovers.
When you turn the ball over in the playoffs, man, that's generally a recipe for losing.
Right.
So I think that's one thing the Bucs may have going for him is Dak Prescott throwing interceptions or fumbling the ball. He's had a lot of turnovers this year.
In the past 6 games, Dak Prescott has had multiple interceptions in 4 of those 6 games.
Yeah. With
another interception coming out in those other 2. He's had, let's see, 4 times 2 is 8. He's had 10 interceptions in the past 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
That's a lot.
It's the most in the league. And when that is if that's a trend you're on right now, you're able to actually win games. I believe they're 8-2 since Dak came back from injury.
Yeah.
If that's the trend you're doing, Brady in the playoffs, because Brady's a different animal. He's won 35, 36 playoff games in his career, more than anyone. I think double more than anyone. When you commit 2 interceptions, maybe a fumble in there, or even 1 interception, it could be a very costly interception because Brady will eat that. You'll give him short field, maybe easy touchdowns, demoralizing. So
the Bucs beat the Dallas in the first game of the season.
Yeah,
and Dak Prescott got hurt in that game.
Dak Prescott did not play very well in that game. He had 48% completion percentage.
He got hurt.
1 interception.
How long did he play in the game? He wasn't in there that long before he got hurt.
He played 77% of the snaps.
Okay,
so it was about third quarter he went out. Yeah. He did not play well. 14 of 29, like I said, 48% completion.
They only scored 3 points.
Only 3 points, and that was the only game where the Bucs ran the ball very well. That was the only game. And since then, the Bucs have ran it maybe one other time where they had 2 other times where they had great running. Against the Cardinals, they had 115 yards rushing. And against Seattle in Munich, they had 161 yards rushing.
Yeah.
That's the only other time that those 3 times.
They got to figure out that formula and have it going for them when they get into the playoffs because they're going to need a running game.
Yeah.
And I do think, based on the way Dallas has played and the way the Bucs seem to be playing now, I think they have a chance if that's the matchup.
Well, it's funny that we're going to talk about this on Friday, I believe. But going into this game against the Falcons with Desmond Ridder, who almost lost to, I want to get this name right because I kept saying it, but I didn't know if I was exactly right. The Falcons played the Cardinals on Sunday, and that game was just embarrassing. Yeah, his name is, I was right, David Blau, or as I call him, David Blau.
He did okay. David Blau did okay. He was ranked in the top 12 quarterbacks, and I saw it on the fantasy. He was in the top 12.
He went 24,
I never heard of him before.
He's their 4th string quarterback.
Yeah, well, he did okay though. He had over 200 yards passing.
The Falcons are favored at home against the Bucs this week, minus 3-point favorites. They're favored.
How could that be?
Early lines are giving the Falcons 3-point favorites against Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder, who the first couple games the red zone percentage has been abysmal.
Well, maybe they think the Bucs they don't need to. Their seeding isn't going to change if they win, right? Maybe they're going to rest people.
Brady had a problem with that. He was actually asked in the post game, "How does he feel if Todd Bowles decides to bench him?" And Brady said, "I've missed a total of I haven't missed any games besides or due to just sitting out. He's never missed a single game. 4 games to suspension, 1 season due to the injury.
Yeah.
Other than that, hasn't missed a single game. Not even. He had 20 stitches in the palm of his throwing hand against Saxonville back in 2017 on a Wednesday before that game.
Yeah, and he played.
So he hasn't missed it due to anything. And now he might get benched. And Todd Bowles already said that he's not planning on benching anyone. But we're gonna get this on Friday. I don't think they should be benched because there's so many things they need to work on still.
I think they should play hard just to go for a winning record because if they lose, they'll have a losing record going into the playoffs. I don't think that's so good.
It'll be the first losing record of Tom Brady's career.
Yeah.
Not even because he was credited actually for the win because in week 1 back in 2008, they beat, the Chiefs in the game Brady got hurt. He got credited for that win. So not even when Brady got hurt in 2008 did he even have a losing record. So, in Brady's career, he's never had a losing record.
Yeah, so I'm sure he wants to win this game.
Of course he does. But Desmond Ridder is getting 3 points? The Bucs are giving up 3 on the road?
Seems hard to believe. I mean, the way the Falcons have been playing, too. I mean, they squeaked out that win against David Blau.
Yeah.
Right? 1 point right at the end.
Right.
So, they're I would say that... I don't know. What's the point spread on that game right now?
It's -3.
-3.
And you get 3 points for being at home.
Yeah.
But still, not even 2.5. Not even 2. Not even plus. Not even -3 for the Bucs.
Yeah.
They're -3 Falcons. They're +3 on the road, which is it's crazy to think a Tom Brady team with Desmond Ridder as the opposing quarterback is giving up 3 points, which is that's absurd in my mind. But this team, I don't think going into the playoffs against that Dallas Cowboys pass rush, Brady's not going to have much time. And I just think some things are clicking. Like I couldn't believe it, but Mike Evans, that was his first touchdown in 11 weeks.
Wow.
And he had 3 of them.
Yeah.
But he didn't get a touchdown in 11 straight games.
I don't know why. There's something wrong there. Why?
Well, there were a couple that could have been touchdowns, but Mike Evans dropped them, underthrown, overthrown. Just they didn't have a very good connection.
Yeah. Well.
And now against the Panthers, who
they
beat
found
them
it
21-3 earlier in this year, Sam Darnold choked it up and gave the ball away, and he played a pretty good game.
He did play pretty well. I mean,
he had over 300 yards.
341 yards, 9.2 yards per pass, 3 TDs. He had the interception. He got sacked twice.
Right.
His rating was 108. That's not bad. I bet he gets a chance to start for him next year. He's played okay.
I think there is a
since
chance.
He came back, he's played all right, and they've been winning.
Right.
So, And let's face it, they early in the season thought they would even win a game, right? They fired their coach, and since then they've been a decent team. They're not a bad team.
Well, Brady will break history in this next game if he does get the start and does play more than, I want to say, 2 drives. Probably 2 drives, because Brady right now has 716 attempts, leading the league. Last year he had 719 attempts. The record is set by Matt Stafford back in 2012 with 727 attempts. Brady at 716 needs 11 more. Brady in 2 drives will probably have 11 attempts.
Maybe.
Probably.
Just attempts? It doesn't have to be completions.
No, well, he also leads the league in completions.
Yeah.
But he's also leading the league in attempts. He broke the record last year for completions at 485. He's right now second in history for completions at 477. Mm-hmm. So he'll probably break that too.
Don't you think he's going to play next year? Huh? He's having a good year.
No, he
had a good year. Unfortunately, he didn't have a good offensive line, and his running game stunk. So he'd been throwing the ball almost 50 times a game, and he's had a good year. And his receivers haven't been that good for him this year. It's been just basically him.
Right.
And he's done well with a lot of adversity. I'd say I think he's coming back. I don't think he's going to retire.
If Brady does play, it won't be for the Bucs.
Well, I think that I agree with that, but
most of their I think there's like 7 or 8 starters on defense that are ending, like they have expiring contracts. The only ones that I believe are staying.
I agree with
Shaquille
that.
Barrett. The one off the
maybe
top
there's an outside chance he come back to them, depending on what kind of other deals are offered to him. But
here's the thing: I don't think it's money. I think it's his surrounding cast, because Brady's been taking pay cuts his entire career.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's strictly what talent can you guys get around me.
I think it's the Raiders, personally. I think that's
really you're moving off the 49ers.
Yeah, well, I said maybe the 49ers, but I've been saying the Raiders lately, and I think that's where he's headed.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You don't think Jarrett Stidham, after throwing 360 yards against that 49ers defense?
Well, they played together in the Patriots, Stidham and Brady.
They did.
I just think Josh McDaniels being the head coach there, and the talent that they have on the Raiders, particularly with the wide receivers, Devontae Adams. I think that's very enticing for Brady, and I think he'll take a hard look at it.
Well, that's why
I think that
that's why I said the Raiders.
The benching of Carr and Stidham in there now, and the fact that they make the playoffs, and Carr could be on the move.
Oh, he is. They're expecting to actually trade him away at the beginning of the offseason.
So that opens the door for Brady, and the 2-year deal.
Yeah. We've been hearing Raiders opinions in the comments of the clip below.
I bet more of them are agreeing with me now, or thinking that it could be right.
The Raiders fans are not happy.
Now that Carr is going to be shopped.
Raiders fans will not be happy if Brady goes there.
Why? Why wouldn't they be?
They just feel like real Raiders fans don't want Brady there at all.
Why?
They don't want to.
Why would they have anything against Tom Brady?
Because they want to win with a potential homegrown quarterback, maybe. I'm not sure of the reason.
Okay, so
but
once they win.
The vibe I'm getting is that they don't want Brady, and I don't know what the reason is. It just seems like they don't want a 46-year-old Tom Brady, because I feel like they don't think, at least at the time, this was before Carr got booted out essentially of Las Vegas, is they have Carr, they have a quarterback. The problem is the offensive line needs work. The defense is completely abysmal. The reason why I always thought that Brady would be a great fit, and I've said this actually from the beginning, was that Devontae Adams would be his best receiver since Randy Moss. They have the problem this year compared to last year and the years before was they were able to run the ball efficiently. The Bucs couldn't this year. The Raiders have Josh Jacobs, he's currently leading the league.
They have rushing. A good tight end, Waller.
Darren Waller. That means if Gronk comes out of retirement, they'll get Gronk, because Brady and Gronk go together PB and J go together.
Right, and Josh McDaniel too. I think Gronk probably like to play for him.
And Brady has his Edelman Amendola blend in Hunter Renfrow, the third down guy he would go to. So it looked like a very, very viable opportunity for Brady to go and potentially win a Super Bowl with the Raiders. But there's another reason why in the back of my head I don't think like the Raiders. Just looking at the team is a perfect fit. Then you have to realize he would play Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, and Patrick Mahomes twice a year.
So
that'd be brutal. Brutal.
I'm not so sure playing Russell Wilson will be that tough.
I probably agree with you, but hey, Russell Wilson, the Broncos, they've played their best 2 games against the Chiefs. Had opportunities to beat them both times, and they completely shredded any opportunity that, in large part due to Russell Wilson. But this team, dangerous in the playoffs. I mean, compared to this or the Eagles, the Cowboys are probably the best shot, though. Because the Eagles right now have probably the best defense. They have, I think, the most takeaways. The point differential is absurd. It's just, I think the Cowboys are probably the better option because Dak Prescott, more turnovers than Jalen Hurts, and a little bit less dynamic of an offense because Jalen Hurts can run the ball. Dak Prescott isn't really going to run the ball himself. So it's just that kind of a, I don't know. I don't bet against Tom Brady a lot. This year, I've had a lot of opportunities to, and I've taken them, and I've been right most of the time. My guess is the point spread will probably be 4 or 5 in favor of the Cowboys, even though they're on the road. That would be my guess, but I don't know. We'll have to see if the Cowboys remain.
That's another plus for the Bucs. They get a home playoff game.
They haven't played great at home though.
Yeah.
They were able to get this big win at home though against the Panthers. So
and they look good doing it.
They do. So we'll see. I don't think they'll be that dangerous. You, I think, have the impression that it's Tom Brady, so of course they're going to be dangerous. But I don't know. I'm not too sure.